going, everybody? Welcome to Today in Space. We are here hanging out for Starship's Flight 11. We're going to see some pretty cool stuff today. So Starship is planning on relaunching a similar profile. They're going to do some more things in space. They're going to relight an engine while they're in orbit with Starship. The Super Heavy booster is reused from Flight 8. And there's some more details with the heat tiles, and they're going to start trying some different landing maneuvers that are going to be there for Starship V3. So we've got an exciting day. Good amount the same from last time, but that was the first time they completed that kind of full profile in Flight 10. So repeating that and then going further, deploying fake Starlink satellites into orbit, all these things are going to further the development. And even though they're moving to the third version of Starship moving forward, there's a lot that's going to be happening today, and they can still learn with V2, mimic some profiles so they can see how it works in real life. That's going to be interesting. Those will be landing off in the coast in the Gulf. And it's also the last launch at Pad 1. So it's a very interesting launch today. Really snuck up on me. I was over at New York Comic-Con this weekend and only went for Friday. But it was a great time. Showed off the Mandalorian cosplay that was fully 3D printed. You can check that out. I think I post that pretty much everywhere. So if you're following us, all of our stuff's up there. Go check that out. And so there's a launch hangout. So we're just going to be watching live. Feel free to jump in, say hi in the chat. And if you got any questions, let us know. But basically, we're just hanging out. So thanks for being here. Let's go. 14.
T-minus 10.
10.
9. 8. 7.
6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Yes. All right, folks, here we go.
We have liftoff. Go Super Heavy. Go Starship. Thanks for all the historic flights, Pad 1.
Last launch of Pad 1. Starship Flight 11. Here we are.
Eagles pitching downrange.
Man, what a beast.
Booster Raptor chamber pressure nominal.
I can't wait to feel that rocket in person. And hear it. And see it. Something different about a rocket launch in person.
Nominal power and telemetry. Alright, we are about 45 seconds into flight. We're still getting the rattle here at Star Factory. We are seeing 33 out of 30.
So far, this is...
on Super Heavy as it arcs across the Gulf. Coming up
It's
next
looking very controlled. Things are looking good.
So at this point, we've passed through that period of maximum aerodynamic pressure. The next thing we're looking forward to is going to be hot staging. So we've got 33 out of 33 Raptors lit. Super Heavy makes its way uphill. Hot staging is going to be coming up in just a little over a minute.
Man, look at that.
Point, we're going to
look at that thrust.
All but 3 on Super Heavy shut down. Our version of Miko. Most engines cut off instead of main engine. And then after that,
let's
go.
go.
The clamps that are currently holding Starship to that hot stage adapter. It's then going to ignite its 6 Raptor.
Look at that view. That's incredible.
Super Heavy, and then start making its flight uphill.
Let's go ship 38.
So in about 30 seconds, we're going to see the engines start to shut down on Super Heavy. You'll see them kind of shut off in separate banks until we've just got those 3 center engines that never stop running for this process, and then looking for 6 ship Raptors.
Dude, this looks like it's out of a sci-fi movie. It's crazy.
Miko coming up in about 10 seconds.
I can't believe we have a rocket this powerful and this large.
Booster engine cut off.
Oh, is that the fuel gauge? Over on the right there.
stage separation.
Oh, look at those views.
Boost back burn startup.
Oh, that was interesting. We actually saw that one engine out.
All right, successful hot staging maneuver. So we've got 12 of the 13 engines lit back
Yep.
up on boosters, so it's doing its boost back. Real exciting.
Business end of Starship looks good.
6 Raptors lit on ship there, so it's now going to continue to make its ascent into outer space. Meanwhile, this boost back is happening. We're using those 13 engines, so everything, well, 12 out of the 13, and then we go down to 3, and then we're going to shut down for the end of boost back. That's sending Super Heavy back towards its planned splashdown zone in the Gulf. Right after we finish this boost back burn, we're also going to separate the hot stage. This will be the final time that we're doing this. Is all right, there's the end of the boost back burn. We should be seeing the hot stage.
There we go.
So the hot stage separates. It's going to make its way down, also splash down in the Gulf. In the meantime, though, these 6 ship Raptors are going to continue firing for about 5 more minutes. Next up for the booster, though, is going to be its landing burn. There's a cool tracking shot.
Yeah,
We dump some
love
of
that. The bleeding.
on our way back in.
Make sure the lines have plenty of fuel.
For booster, this is one of the main things we're trying to get is going to be this landing burn.
Oh yeah, look at
so you
the
can see the hot
stage ring.
kind of making its way towards the left side. So that's the bottom of the booster. It's about to pass right in front of where you can see some of that prop dump happening.
Guys, I can't express how amazing it is that we can see this at such high quality and fidelity. Oh, when I was in school for aerospace engineering in the 2010s, like this was not. There was nothing like this. Starship had just started showing pictures of it trying the Grasshopper with Falcon. You know, like this is insane.
Is gathering over here in the office. You can definitely feel the energy in here. Great to see that booster is making its way down to the splashdown zone in the Gulf.
Yeah, the shaking down here.
I was worried about that grid fin.
The windows are still there, still intact. So that was.
Oh, someone's gonna make a video that was an alien, even though that was just the hot stage ring.
Be awesome. But yeah, booster's coming down. We're at about 30 kilometers. About. All right, yeah. And as we approach.
All right, here we go. Reused booster from Flight 8.
A 13-engine landing burn to slow down. This time it will be in a V3 configuration.
Man.
And as we're starting to get into the denser part of the atmosphere, the booster is using 4 hypersonic grid fins to guide itself through atmospheric entry towards its landing
Just a
site.
controlled fall.
And we're just about
Crazy.
20 seconds away from landing burn start, where we'll first ignite
Here
the
we
Center
go.
13 engines.
They broke
then
the
bring
sound
that down
barrier.
to 5 to slow down the booster for landing. And finally, that will come down to 3, and we'll cut all of them off while we're still about
Man, that's a
200
lot of
meters in the
drag.
air.
Oh, here we
this is
go.
gonna see a bit of a hard
Here we go. Let's go, booster. That's the beautiful control we're looking for. That's what we need.
Booster landing burn shut down. We saw a 13 to 5 to 3 V3 demonstration.
Ah,
And into the water.
and there goes Starship Super Heavy Booster. The first.
If you can even hear us
Oh
right
man.
now, congrats to the whole SpaceX team.
Congrats.
So far, so good for
That's
tonight.
amazing.
That was incredible.
Great first part. Look at all the nerds.
All right,
Look how
good
happy
stuff,
they are.
guys.
I'm fucking
Jealous
ecstatic.
of the crowd. All right, back to ship. Ship's still making its way. We've got a little under 2 minutes left in this ascent burn, so we've got all 6 Raptor engines still firing.
This is great.
So the next major milestone we're going to be looking for is SECO. That's our second stage engine cutoff. That's should be coming right at about 8 minutes and 58 seconds into flight. So we've got about 1:20 still to go. Really cool to see Booster go through that landing burn. That was one of our really
Yeah. So with Flight 11, getting the launch off the pad, separating, getting they just heard the sonic boom back at Starbase. A little bit distracting without the audio there, but that's okay. I'm still working out OBS here. So this is really big for SpaceX because they need to reset, right? And Flight 9 and Flight 8 were, not the greatest if you were looking at, hey, we're going to be sending humans on this soon. But Flight 10, they redeemed themselves fully. Flight 11 here, the fact that they've gotten Starship back into orbit like this, got the booster to land successfully, once again, a reused booster, right? These are the big steps that are going to be needed as we get closer and closer to putting human beings on here, right? All right, big moment here for Starship. We're shutting off engines, first 3. This is critical because this is where things have fallen apart before, whether there was some kind of leaking or the reignition didn't work. But that looks pretty clean to me. The big thing to look for is if the ship starts to lose its orientation and attitude. Like if it starts spinning around and there's like leaking. All right, that looks like the little purge. I think we're looking okay.
But I'm excited to see what ship can do in space. How's everybody doing down there?
Oh, a few more tiles on the wing. Okay. Yeah, it didn't seem like those metal tiles worked.
This whole time, people are definitely happy with how the day's been panning out so far. Definitely exciting to see Starship safely in space, and super pumped to see all the team's hard work in action here today.
Yeah, and we guaranteed it at the start of the show, but it has been an awesome day so far.
That it has.
All this has happened in just 10 minutes. All the objectives were met on the booster,
now,
including that V3 style
so
landing
that
button.
that I'm not too happy with what's going on under there.
In-space objectives. But we've got a few
I don't know
minutes
enough
until
about the system.
So sit tight, enjoy the views, enjoy the space jams. We'll be back at T plus 16 minutes for payload deploy.
All right, so I'm going to put on our music here. So the stream has just gone off a little bit, so we'll just have our tunes on in the background here. But so far, this is looking good. We're not seeing Starship spin out of control or doing things it's not supposed to so far. So as far as everything looks, it's good. It's really cool what they've done with the broadcast of this, right? So if you look at the right of the screen there, you've got the first one on the far right, which is the position of Starship as it orbits the Earth, which is cool. But to the left of it, you actually see the orientation of Starship with north, south in a sphere. So as a person that went to school for astronautics, right, the traveling through space, one of the things that you need to be very good at whenever you send anything into space is where you are in three-dimensional space. Guidance, navigation, and control, GNC, and your attitude, right? How do you know where you are and how can you orient yourself and move in space? And so when I see graphics like this explaining the stuff that I spent years learning in school that was really complex, and to be honest, there weren't that many great visual representations of things back then. I love the little tiny things that they're doing. I loved that there was that fuel gauge on top of the booster and ship as it separated, so it became two different new GUIs to look at, and the indicators were very just intuitive. I love a lot of what they're doing, and I'm sure a lot of this is also coming from the work that they've done with Crew Dragon, because there's so many systems on there that are necessary for human spaceflight, but also what NASA requires to reach the space station and travel like that. So I don't know. I find that stuff fascinating. And SpaceX is without a doubt a leader on like pushing the broadcast of space higher. Ooh, that was interesting. That was a little puff of flame. I'm not sure where that came from. Looked like the business end of Starship. I'm not seeing any unnecessary rolls right now. Or spinning. So I think we're okay. But that did not look great. Yeah, there it is again. Maybe they're just in a dead zone for Starlink, but a little suspicious. They're also too high to be going through clouds, so I'm really not sure what's going on in the background here. What it could be is leaking from the engine, which would be a problem, obviously, if you're going to try and finish the mission for reentry. Well, anyways, regardless, so far the mission seems to be going well. With Today in Space, we have kind of pulled a little bit away from the podcast, mainly because we've got so many other things going on after being laid off 2 months ago from my 3D printing job to going in full into the entrepreneurial life with AG3D and AG3D Labs, where we're using AI and 3D printing to help solve problems and get expertise in front of the problems that people are having with their 3D printers. I've just been too busy to keep up with everything happening in space. There's clearly a lot going on from the political side of things. There was the day of action where people were going to Washington, D.C. We're getting in front of our politicians to make sure that NASA isn't gutted from all the programs that we have. Having the leadership in space, you don't get it by trimming this supposed fat just blindly. And unfortunately, there's politics is never fun, and NASA's always been at the whim of political changes. It's been used as a football back and forth for years. Okay, no more politics. Let's go back.
Getting ready for payload deploy. That's going to start once.
Wow, they're going to start payload deploy.
Open. That should be happening, or at least starting within the next minute or so. It's been a really cool flight so far. Quick look inside the payload. We've got 8 Starlink.
It sounds like Starship's okay, so that's good.
Into outer space. But great flight so far. Booster able to make it all the way to its
definitely some smoke in there.
Splashdown and landing burn experiment. So that was really exciting to see. We got ship on orbit, nominal orbital insertion, so right in the money with its trajectory. Now we're ready to start tackling a couple of in-space objectives. So next up, we are currently venting down the nose cone, essentially the payload area of Starship, as we get ready to open up this payload door. We were able to do this successfully for the very first time on our last flight, on Flight 10. Ooh.
Oh, that looks like
he's opening up the payload door.
Hal opened up the payload door. Oh, that's cool to see with the light. Okay. Pez dispenser.
Like we got the door open.
Yeah, the door is on the right there. So those Pez dispenser Starlink satellites would exit out of there. And if they're able to do that, then they'll deploy them, which will be a huge step because
open. Next up, gonna be
the
start deploy.
thing that's paying for Starship's development is deploying these Starlink satellites, and the next version of Starlink satellites that are the most cost effective but also like the best quality and capabilities for Starship, but also they'll be able to put more up in orbit than they are able to now with the Falcon 9, even though they're launching a lot. But these fake Starlink satellites would deploy to prove out that they can do it. I'm sure they're probably getting some kind of data back and forth from it. But those are going to re-enter and then, demise, burn up on the way back in, just like Starlinks are designed to. So, yeah, pretty interesting stuff. I still don't know why it looks so smoky, but we'll see.
I mean, that view on your left, so you're basically, that would be if you were sitting at the very top of the nose cone looking down. So there's kind of a short stack. There's 4 on either side, so 8 total. When we start flying Starlinks, for their actual deploy missions, we're going to be carrying stacks of about 60. So much larger stack once we start flying these operationally, but still doing a little bit of a short just for this payload deployed today.
Someone's excited.
Looks like we got a little bit of movement there, Dan.
Coax it out.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There we go. All right, first one going out.
Let's go. Starship deploying stuff into space once again. This is great stuff.
All right, first one's deployed. Getting ready for the second one here. We do a little reset back to the center position.
And it's just like,
Yeah, it takes about a minute for each one.
boom. There it goes. Into the final frontier.
Looks real smooth too. They made a couple of tweaks to those rails. If you watched the last ones,
Yeah, these are a lot
couple
smoother.
bumps on the way out, but moving out super clean this time.
Yeah, that's
and
very
as
true.
noted earlier in the show, but definitely worth repeating, Starship will deploy Starlink's more advanced V3 satellites, adding 60 terabits per second of capacity to the network per launch.
Crazy.
So that's 20 times more than each Falcon 9 launch does today. Just incredible.
Wow, 20 times more connectivity than what they're already doing with Falcon
Anybody
9.
that's been following Starship, Starlink's kind of the MVP for these flight tests, where it's not only giving us the views we're seeing right now, but also just real-time data through every phase of flight. So,
Oh, very interesting, the procedure that it's doing to check that the right layer of Starlink satellites are there to deploy. All right, so it does half. Does the front set of satellites. Yep, there they go.
we're using Starlink to bring all of this together. It's our drone shots using
And then
from
that'll go back.
our great team down here at Starlink,
Deploy.
all connected. So Starlink
Another toss out the
on the planet help bring
payload door.
Starship.
Good stuff. All right. It's interesting. It comes down, and then it does a mounting procedure for that bottom shelf of Starlink that's coming out. It's interesting to see it go through its checks to make sure that it's ready. Like, it goes down, but it doesn't immediately go up.
Outside of Starship, he uses that to talk
So I wonder what's happening there to set it.
about 120 megabits
Right, so it goes down.
for our downlink. That's our real-time
Right, and then it's going to lift up a little bit,
telemetry, so it's not just kind of giving us these
do a little bit more of a movement, and then at some point it'll come up. So, is it doing something that's clipping it or keeping it on the bottom there? Or is it just a momentum thing where it's trying to settle the vibration so that it's fully flat? See that little... Oh, okay, so it's definitely doing some more movements to lock it into place, or maybe grab the shelf above it. Maybe that's what we just saw. Cool. It looks way smoother than the last flight, so that's already an improvement. And then the idea here is that the first Starship launches are going to be deploying these Starlink satellites. Oh, cool. Look at the payload door. Sweet. But this is what's paying for it, right? We have Starlink here, and it's going to help pay for this development, which is helping to help make life interplanetary.
Is the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people around the world, many of who have never had connectivity before. Oh. Right, today Starlink serves more than 150 countries, territories, and other markets with over 7 million active customers and counting. To meet the global growing demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX expanded its factory over in Bastrop, Texas, which is just outside of Austin, and also introduced Starlink Mini as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard Kit.
Yeah, and one
I have the
thing to
standard
note
kit.
about
It is
this
pretty dope.
satellite deploy is that they will be following the same suborbital trajectory of the ship. So these dummy sats will not be going in orbit. We do expect them to burn up on reentry.
Yeah, Starlink, I will say, has been very good. I've been able to stream as much as I need to because we're streaming here with Today in Space. We're streaming with our 3D printing lab, AG3D, and we're also streaming on Whatnot, and we're flipping collectibles like V-Friends and selling 3D printed products. So, like, having Starlink for us has been huge. I'm not getting paid by them. I'm just a customer. But they had a crazy deal. Was able to get it this year, and I'm really glad I did. I mean, we have Hurricane have had some minor dropouts of some connection and frames, but how much that is my settings in OBS, I don't know. But otherwise, we get 220 megabits per second pretty regularly, which is wild. I've never had that much internet in my life. I think having 20 megabytes was like crazy. So it's been very good. And for someone that's doing a lot of streaming, it's definitely has been worth it.
Coast around Earth to the Indian Ocean. We still have a ton of major events to come today, including Raptor Relight at about T plus 37 minutes.
Everyone's excited. And they should be.
That will be followed by
relief.
atmospheric reentry and splashdown. So with that, we're going to go on another quick coast.
Yeah, if you can hear us.
The nerds are pumped. Close the payload door. Okay.
All right, with that payload door closed, we're going to sit tight, enjoy the views, and enjoy the space jams. Again, we'll be back in just a few minutes for Raptor Relight, and then head back for reentry.
All right. So we'll switch off here so we can use our music and not theirs. So we've got a few minutes before we start getting some that relight of that Raptor engine, and then we go into reentry. So we've got a little bit of the mission left here, but things are looking good. Again, I need to learn more about what's going on with the actual video there, and why maybe it's just a connectivity issue, but it seems like everything's going well. So this is good news, really good news. And so they've deployed the Starlinks, which is proofing out the big reason that they're going to start using Starship before they ever put humans on it, is they have to be able to put these Starlink satellites into orbit. And you heard they were saying 20 times the capability of what they're able to put into orbit for Starlink delivering internet. That's insane, especially since they're launching these Falcon 9 rockets like crazy out of the Cape right now in Florida. And then they do also do DoD and other Space Force launches out of Vandenberg over in California. but those things are working overtime, the Falcon 9s. I mean, an hour later, right after this, actually pretty soon, they're going to be launching in Florida for Project Kuiper, which is Amazon's Starlink. They're able to launch space at such a cost and a repeatability that they're even launching their competitors' satellites, and it's just good business. It's like, yeah, we're not going to be the only ones to do this. You want to pay us to go into space? Great. Like, it is a pretty crazy time that we're in that regard, especially with those two companies working well together. I mean, that's good to see, especially since they have been rivals. Deborah, how's it going? We are in the middle of Starship Flight 11. They deployed those Starlink satellite dummies. They're going to relight the Raptor engine, and then we're going to do reentry. So we're looking pretty good. But how are you, Deborah? It's good to see you here in the chat. Yeah, glad you're here. Glad you were here. Yeah, the recap is things are looking good. So far, it looks like Starship's still under control. So it looked like there could have been some smoking or maybe some fuel was leaking, but it doesn't look like that's been a problem. So even though the video looked a little weird, and clearly we're on this simulated view right now, we're good. We're looking good. Yeah, as far as space is concerned, I am slowly getting back in to everything that's going on. Nice. Good to hear things are good on your end, Deborah. Working late today. Well, good for you. That's today's a holiday and you're working. You're a warrior. But yeah, I'm glad you tuned in. Shit, I think it's only like another minute or two. Was. Well, good. Hopefully you're done now, and you can relax a little bit and enjoy the space and our space jams. Oh, you're a computer technician. Yeah, no, that is constant work and 24/7. But you're keeping all this stuff working, so thank you, Deborah. Now, is that like cybersecurity stuff? I would assume so, if you're doing any kind of computer stuff. Yeah. I was talking to somebody this weekend about my time working at Apple, in Apple retail. And, like, taking... Basically, my job was, you go, like, when you go to the Apple Store, you go to the Genius Bar, and your phone doesn't work, or the screen's broken, or whatever. The person taking your case, or working on the phone in the back, that's what I used to do for Apple. And that was a lot of fun. I made a lot of really awesome people, had a blast working with them, and just the retail space is so cool, especially as an engineer. Being, like, belly to belly with someone, and seeing that their day has just fallen apart, right? Like you are there at the worst part of their day where their technology is like fallen apart and their life in this device is gone. Yeah, it was crazy. Timber says, I basically fix computer issues and phone issues, you name it. I set up software too and hardware. Damn. All right, Deborah. You have many talents. That's awesome. It's pretty fun to work at the Apple Store. Now, it has its retail issues, right? Like, just like any kind of retail store, you're going to deal with managers that are, not so great. Not all of them, but some of them. And that's a lot of jobs. You're going to deal with politics and stuff. But really, the worst part is, like, dealing with the just, like, daily problem solving. So it's a really cool, fun thing, especially when you're like when you feel like you're in a team, in a group, and you're like, all right, we got to get through this day. Customer support is tough, and especially with something as intimate as a phone or like an Apple device, any of those smart devices, it's interesting. It's definitely made me a better problem solver because I can now communicate better, set better expectations with people, so I'm not like setting people up to then just be upset, like underselling and over delivering basically is what I mean. But that's cool. Yeah, so you're saying in your free time you do all that stuff. Hey, that's even cooler. You're a NASA girl. Love to stargaze. Yes. I love to stargaze too. I have not been able to do any of it because it has been raining, and the one night that was free that I could have caught Comet Atlas, and now those other comets that we have, I was too busy putting together the Mandalorian 3D printed cosplay. That just took up all of my week last week to get ready to show it off at Comic-Con, which it went really, really well, but it was taking me away from everything else. So yeah, the weather has been rough. Yeah. So you're looking to purchase a telescope. Okay. So what are you looking to observe, or like, are you looking for something easy? Do you want something that you can make into custom where you can do kind of like classic astronomy? Or like, I have one of the digital scopes, smart telescopes. I have I have the Vespero 1 from Vaonis, and that's beautiful because you can set it up, you can plan your night. It does most of the setup by itself, and then you can just spend more time observing things. That's what I needed because I have 14 3D printers in my basement and I don't need to tweak anything else. I don't need to be working on anything else. But I also know plenty of astronomers, like my guy over here in Boston, Bostronomy, like, and so many other, Ransom Observatory. Like, there are so many different cool custom setups that you can do. But then, yeah, like, do you want to look at planets? Do you want to look at stars? The wide starscapes. There's actually definitely some different scopes for different things, right? Like, I would love to do some more solar observing, like see kind of the solar activity on like the surface of the sun. I would have to get a different telescope for that. And then if I wanted to look at planets, I would also need a different telescope than what I have. But I will say mine is really easy. So, yeah, if you're a beginner, there's definitely a lot of good stuff out there. Yeah, I'll definitely have to get back to you on that, Deborah. Having something easy, there's a lot of different smart scopes out there, but they might be expensive. So I'll hit you up, though. Looks like the broadcast is back. Let's switch over.
Fully deployed its second ever payload, 8 Starlink simulator satellites. And now we're expecting the relight of a single sea-level Raptor engine in space coming up here just after T plus 37 minutes. So about a minute left to go.
Yep, just a little while. I think we're tracking to 37 in around 49 seconds or so. So we should be just about a minute and a half. We're, again, as Amanda just said, we're going to relight one of those center engines. This will be the third time that we've tried this. We did it successfully back on Flight 10, and then we did it for the very first time back on Flight 6. This is not a deorbit burn. This is demonstrating essentially all of the systems you would need to do a deorbit burn. So that's obviously your Raptor engine, and then also your header tanks, your smaller tanks in the nose cone, where we have liquid oxygen, liquid methane in a smaller, more easily pressurized container, which we can use for on-orbit burns. And we're also going to tap into those when we do our landing burn. So this will be a critical capability once we go to full orbital missions. You'll have to do a deorbit burn to break out of orbit, send it back down to Earth. But in this instance, we're already on our way back down towards Earth. So this is just going to demonstrate the capability of turning one of these engines on. We should be coming up in just about 20 seconds or so, looking for one of those Raptor engines to turn back on. They've been off since we completed that successful ascent burn almost 30 minutes ago. Here we go.
Oh, rapid ignition.
Ooh.
And shutdown.
Wow. Oh, that's
there's
great.
that Raptor
That's
relight.
awesome.
Looks like engine 3 full duration. As Dan mentioned, that's a third attempt, and we just did it 3 times in a row. So congrats to the team, the ship
Nominal
team,
second
Raptor
orbit.
team.
All right, that's huge.
And then
Hey,
with
relighting an
airborne
engine in
nominal
space
second
multiple
orbital
times.
insertion. All right, so
You gotta-
congrats everyone on the milestone.
You gotta test that. So that's
that
huge.
was awesome to see. We're 3 for 3. We're gonna take another break, and we'll be back for re-entry at about T plus 45 minutes. We'll see you soon.
All right, folks, I am going to leave this on for a little bit for the re-entry. Oh, I still got the music on in the background. But that's really good. Showing the capability of being able to relight those engines in space is huge. So really good stuff there. I will put the music on, pause my mic, but we should have re-entry here in what it was like 10 minutes, it sounded like. So if you want to hang out, please do. I'll be right back.
Dynamic pressure is coming down.
Hope nobody gets seasick. Alright, coming up on transonic shortly. It's about 2.5 minutes of landing burn.
Yeah, and once we get to around the 15-kilometer altitude mark, that's where we have a lot of flight history.
Starship
from
is
those suborbital
transonic,
flights.
starting the belly flop phase of flight.
Yep, that belly flop phase that we perfected in the suborbital campaigns. We're entering that now.
Right, sorry to get those Raptors ready. Should be 2 minutes away from landing burn. Again, we're gonna do a flip. After we ignite those engines, we'll go from 3 down to 2 for the final phase of the landing burn and look for another soft splashdown, hopefully by our buoy and drone, which are hanging out, ready and waiting for a ship.
Seeing all 3 center engines have entered the chill phase.
All right, folks, I don't know what happened with my mic, but switched over to another one. We're here, Reentry. They were doing their flap tests.
All right, less
To
than a
slow
minute
things
to go.
down as it enters the atmosphere after going transonic.
The ship is making its turn for final approach.
Here we go.
And here's this kind of aggressive final turn that would essentially position it so it's right behind the launching
Let's go,
catch
ship
tower.
38.
Flaps holding strong.
Flaps holding
Landing burn in just
strong.
under
Some
20 seconds.
bits could be soot buildup, but definitely some tiles flaking off here. At this point, they're not needed.
Ship landing startup.
Oh, here we go. Engines relit, shedding some more tiles.
There's our landing burn.
Yes!
3 down to 2.
Starship has landed.
Let's go. Oh, are they going to be able to save this one? No, no.
As we said, we're not
Ship
planning
38.
on recovering the ship today. Hey, welcome back to Earth, Starship. We are down in the Indian
Dudes.
Ocean.
Those nerds are going crazy.
Let them hear it, Starbase. What a day.
What a flight.
Oh. All right. Welcome back to
I love
Earth
it.
ship. What a day. A whole lot more to go through. As you just saw, everybody here at Starbase pretty hyped. Hey, Tyler,
Crazy.
out of Hawthorne, how's everybody holding up?
Thank you, Dan. We had a fantastic time watching.
Folks, Starship's having another successful test. Flight 11, nerds freaking out, full of smiles, waving at cameras. But this is another big step towards, maybe not a massive step, but it is a big step moving towards this becoming a thing. It's the same thing that the Falcon 9s went through, and the Falcon Heavy. It's Crew Dragon. It's these little steps, brick by brick, to get to this next place. So, a great stream. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations, SpaceX team. Y'all did it. And very excited for Flight 12 soon. I will be at Starbase one day, very soon, but couldn't make it out for this one. But it was successful, so I'm happy about that. Congrats, and we'll see you on the next live stream and episode of Today in Space. I'm your space science podcast host from the East Coast, Alex Giorfanos. If you want to check out everything that I'm doing, check out our one link to rule them all, stan.store/AG3labs. Has links to everything from what we're doing in space with the podcast, all our social media profiles, but also it's got everything we're doing with our 3D printing and AI that we're doing with AG3D Labs. So stan.store/AG3D Labs.